So I've been absolutely loving my new 2023 Razer Blade 14. Now this is my everyday daily driver laptop, so it does get thrown around and used very heavily. Now I've chosen the default black model, and as we all know, these are an absolute fingerprint magnet. Now, if that bothers you, then you do have the Mercury option, which does much better with fingerprints. But because I'm going to use this laptop so heavily, I've gone for the default black and I'm putting the skin on here. Because the skin not only protects from fingerprints, but also scratches and very light bumps. Now, because I pre-ordered, I got my skin free with my actual Razer Blade 14. They often have these promotions on the Razer site if you keep your eyes open. But if not, if you've already got your Razer Blade 14, you can pick up a skin direct from Razer. They have a number of choices. I will put a link in the description down below. So here we go, the actual Blade 14 Chroma Joy Plot. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so just pull this out, and inside you can see we have the skin itself, which consists of a top cover, the palm cover, and the base. We also get a microfiber cloth because you're going to want to give it a really good clean before you actually put this actual cover over the top of the laptop. Now, first things first, before we do anything, you're going to need to get your laptop, give it a really good clean, and we're going to need to remove these stickers. If you don't, and you put the actual skin over the top, you can get some slight lumps. We don't want that. So you'll often have a sticker at the top there, and then you're going to have your Ryzen and THS stickers. Take them all off. Let's give the laptop a good clean, then shut the laptop down. Right, so we're going to prepare our area. So when applying these skins, you're going to want to do the top, then the bottom, and then the palm rest. Now first, before we apply the actual top skin, take the microfiber cloth that Razer provide and just damp it very slightly. That helps get all the fingerprints and grime off the actual top of your Razer, especially if you have used it for a while. Start with the top, and then you peel the top cover away from the backing and place it upside down on the actual top lid. Now take the rest of the backing off the actual sheet, so you've literally got just the sheet itself. Place the sheet halfway down your Razer skin so that you can easily then hold this to position it in place, and this is where you want to take your time. Position the top two corners nice and evenly and get it straight, because otherwise as you start pushing this down, it's going to be off angle and you're going to get it sticking off on one side. Now if you do make a mistake, obviously you've only got half it exposed, use it to slightly pull it back up and reposition. Take your time, get it right. Once you've got it positioned correctly, you can then peel away the original cover and just gently press it down nicely. Give it a gentle rub all over, and then you can now peel off the top coat. So you'll see the tab on the corner. Carefully peel that away from the actual skin itself. That takes just the top protective coating off, and it is quite stiff. So take your time again. As you peel it away, put your hand on the skin and peel away from your hand just to keep the skin in place. Now, once you have taken that top cover off, you may find a couple of air bubbles underneath your skin. That's totally normal. Just give it a good old rub out towards the edge of the actual blade itself, and they will soon disappear, and it leaves you with a fantastic looking top skin. Now we're going to turn the laptop over. Now I put something underneath the actual laptop itself, not directly on the desk, just to keep it nice and pristine. And then once I've turned it over, I'm going to clean that base, again with my cloth, and again I'm going to take my actual cover off, put it upside down onto the actual blade base. Now you could take the rest of the stickering off the actual backing plastic, but I just used my original top cover because I'd already taken everything off that one. I'm going to use that again to put halfway down my base skin. I can easily then maneuver that correctly over the vents and the rear grille. Again, take your time. You want to make sure you've got this absolutely lined up, and then press it on and remove the rest of the backing sticker and rub this down. And like the top cover, take that edge piece off, again holding the actual skin down as you remove the top coating. Then you've got the top and the bottom done. You've now got the hardest part you've saved for last, which is the palm rest. Now, honestly, have a stiff drink and definitely take your time with this piece, because when you're doing all the palm rest itself, you have some very fiddly, thin bits of strip that go around the actual speaker grills and around the touchpad. This isn't easy, I'm not going to lie. The top and the bottom are very easy in comparison. But if you do take your time and get it right, it looks fantastic. And if you don't quite get it even, lift it back up and do it again until you do get it right. The touchpad was very easy. I put my base plate on the actual palm rest, and then I took the touchpad off and I just put that down by hand onto the touchpad itself. That was incredibly easy. And again, peel off those top coatings. The touchpad was easy, but over the actual palm rest, because of that thin plastic, take your time with this. It is well held on to the actual skin. So when you pull that off, it's going to want to pull that skin off the actual laptop, especially the thinner pieces. So use your hand to sort of, just the inside of the actual top cover as you're pulling it off to keep it all in place. Now again, if you've got any air bubbles, just rub them out. If you've got anything slightly off center, take your time and just reposition it, because once it's done, it looks fantastic, but it is going to take you some time. Now this took me about, I would say, 20 minutes start to finish, which actually isn't that long, but the palm rest was a little bit stressful. I definitely needed a whiskey at the end of it. But now it's done. Here I am with my Razer Blade 14 with this absolutely stunning looking, this is the Joyplot skin that is on the Razer site. There are a number of different skins for the actual Razer Blade 14, or for all the different Razer Blades. This gives it an added level of protection and it stops those fingerprints. So for me personally, I was going to get the Mercury, but I thought, do you know what? I love the look of this skin and it gives it better protection than the Mercury because you're not going to scratch it if you do catch it. And worst case scenario, you can buy another skin and replace it if you do damage the skin. So if you're interested, I can put a link to the Razer skins in the description down below. I've already dropped my Razer Blade 14 video. I'm absolutely loving this laptop this year. This is probably my go-to laptop. So make sure you check that out if you haven't already. And as always, thanks for watching.